Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is KPZ. You are here on the home of the slightly above average ship review. We have a review of a new premium destroyer in the game. It is a Pan-Asian destroyer at Tier 7 called the Siliwangi. It's basically a Russian destroyer that was transferred to Indonesia. I'm going to give you a little preview right off the bat. It's a lot like the Ognivoy, in my opinion. So we're going to read some laughable statements from Wargaming about this destroyer in a minute. Here's a look at the teams. Look at all this fancy shit, including like backgrounds for your name and stuff. I bought the Siliwangi using the coupon, so it cost me 1 doubloon. Is the Siliwangi worth 1 doubloon? The answer is yes. Is the Siliwangi worth 17,500 doubloons? The answer is no. It is just an okay destroyer. It's not great at anything. And let's talk about why. It is very low main battery DPM. We're talking about just over 90,000 damage per second as I reject that battleship's design for me to go, escort that battleship somewhere. No thanks, buddy. It has deep water torpedoes. We all know deep water torpedoes are super stealthy. They hit hard, but they are slow, and obviously they can't hit destroyers. So you're not going to out DPM any gunboat destroyers, and your deep water torpedoes aren't worth anything against destroyers. Cruisers are probably going to dodge most of those. So really only effective against battleships for the most part. So you're going to be stuck in an area where if you're facing a gunboat destroyer, you're just going to get wiped out. You don't have the DPM to hang with that. Now you do have the ability to use the smoke sonar combo. You got 4 charges of kind of that intermediate smoke that the Pan-European, the Pan-Asian destroyers are known for. And you've got 2 charges of a 5.4 kilometer sonar. So yeah, you could smoke sonar somebody. At this tier, most of the destroyers have a way to combat that. They either have sonar or radar themselves, or they'll just tank your damage and come right at you until they can spot you anyway. So, and then when they're that close, you can't use torps on them because they won't be affected by that. I don't know why are all these text messages coming in here when I'm trying to record. Good grief. So yeah, anyway, I don't think this is a very great destroyer. It's terrible AA. It says it has good concealment. You can see 5.3 kilometers. To me, that's okay concealment. Good concealment is 5 kilometers or better. So good concealment for a Russian destroyer, okay, I could get on board with that. So we're just trying to hang out here in Charlie and see what we can find. And the answer is we're not finding anything because this battleship cruised in here, and I think the other destroyer's in here. So in a minute, I think we're going to pop, we did just pop our sonar. And all of a sudden, look at all the torpedoes coming in. Good grief. And thankfully that battleship was like, I'm out of here. Yeah, good choice. So we're advancing. We're going to pull quite the maneuver here. The other destroyer got killed. That was a Fletcher, I think. I'm not sure if I remember what the remaining destroyer is. We're actually going to set a smokescreen. Look at this. Old school tactics right here. I'm setting a smokescreen for my fellow teammates. We're going to launch at Gneisenau. He's probably already turning in, so that's going to be worthless. The Iowa here, I'm not sure what he's doing. Prince Eugen, I thought he was going to come around the corner so I could torp him, but it appears that he is not. So I am not Gonna mess with that. Instead, I will launch at the Massachusetts as the Eugen continues to retreat. We're going to launch, although I'm sure our torps are spotted. We did get one torp strike off screen on Gneisenau, presumably. Eugen is starting to inch back forward. It's a minute plus till my torpedoes reload. Right about now, I'm like, yo, let's go hide next to the Iowa. And you're going to see here in a minute, this is a bad idea. Look at all those torps coming in. All right, yeah, it's time to get out of here. So we're going to actually pull off a little bit of an escape. We are spotted momentarily by Gneisenau. But we're going to go dark right here. And we haven't taken a ton of damage. Somebody tries to knock out my steering. We're just out of there anyway. And if they had done a pincher move, if Eugen had come up at the same time, I probably would be dead. I don't know anything about the VUK or VUK, other than someone probably had to pay money for that, and it's not a real ship. So I decided to unask Charlie. And it looks like we're going to lose this match, just based on what I'm seeing out there. I will launch one set of torps as we go to kind of protect the backside of the rock. Here is Gneisenau, so maybe I should have saved that. Really good salvo here from our teammate. All right, maybe not a really good salvo, but he did do some damage. Oh, well, I meant really good because I think he takes him out at the last second. Or he doesn't take him out, but he did a fair amount of damage to him. All right, we've got some other ships out there. We got a Nelson. I do have my other set of torpedoes reloaded. I don't know what this other battleship is, but we're gonna leave him alone for now. So I'm looking at this Nelson. We'll launch one set at the Nelson. And then I'm going to leave the cap and see what that does for us. The VUK or VUK is still out there. And I know everyone's like, oh, you should have tried to kill that thing first. I'm a little bit more worried about the Nelson, who looks like he saw my torpedoes and maybe the other torpedoes and put on the brakes. We're only going to catch him with a couple, but they still do a fair amount of damage. As you can see right there, a nice big chunk. And the VUK or VUK is almost dead. So we talked about how the DPM is really lackluster, and it is really lackluster, but there are times to use it. And by the way, I do have the gunboat commander on here, Sajin Bing. So we're talking about improved pen angles, and we're also talking about better reload than normal. So we're going to activate one of our smoke screens because we got a couple extra, and we're going to start doing what I love to do, which is known as kill pinching. All right, checking out the Nelson. We'll go back to the VUK here and start shooting at it. And then we'll really start shooting at it. And we're going to farm some damage here and get that kill. I think. Yep, kill number one. Kill pinch number one. All right, Nelson. Taking a look at my surroundings. There's probably somebody that I can't see. So we're going to start, well, it looks like the aircraft carrier did our work for us. Kill pinch number two. All right, there is a destroyer, the Akatsuki. Now here's an example of where you have the advantage. He's caught in the smoke sonar trap. All right, we're tearing him up with the guns, even though they have terrible DPM. He did not come in. He ran away, and that's why he's going to be dead here. because he just can't get out of the range of the sonar in time. I'm not saying that he would have won if he had moved bow onto me and got close to me, but I can't torp him if he does that. That's what I would have done if I was the Akatsuki commander. But yeah, he's dead. So now what looked like was going to be a loss is now looking like a win. All right, just 2 ships left. There is the Prince Eugen, who finally came in there. And see him doing some maneuvering. We are going to do some maneuvering. Chkalov, presumably, is all over that. And we're just kind of checking it out. We're going to throw a launch out there. And I'm anticipating throwing up a smoke screen and doing a little bit of distraction techniques as those torpedoes get close. So what you've seen here is basically the Siliwangi playing to its strengths. You're not going to gunboat other destroyers. I tried that in the first match and got obliterated. And then I realized, hey, this is just an Ognavoy. Okay, it's an Ognavoy up tier. So we do get a torp strike on Prince Eugen, and then we're going to activate our guns. We do take a big chunk of damage there. But at this point, he's visible, and we're just going to chew him up, in theory, with these 130 millimeter guns. Just pick your moments. Use those deep water torps against battleships. Use that smoke sonar combo whenever you can. Kill number 4. I think we can safely say that 2 of them were kill pinches, but nonetheless, here we are on the victory screen. 72,631 total damage, 69 main battery hits, 4 torpedo strikes, 4 kills, and we ended up with 496,029 silver, 6,600 ship XP, 7,100 commander XP in the Siliwangi. All right, team results. All right, we're number 2 behind the Shumphone. Another ship that was given to someone else. 2417 base XP, 4 big kills. Good game to the Shumphone at the top of the board, who actually had a good game. We just had an okay game. But yeah, this destroyer is not that strong, in my opinion. All right, in terms of the upgrades, we went with main battery mod 2. Propulsion mod 2, concealment system mod 1, and main battery mod 3. In terms of the loadout, you got HE, AP, and deep water torpedoes, unlimited charges of the damage control party, 4 charges of that Pan-Asian smoke, 2 charges of a 5.4 kilometer sonar. Let me read you what Wargaming lied about this ship and said. They said, this ruthless destroyer is a formidable hunter. No. If you go into a match thinking, oh, look, I've played this game for so long. If you go into a match thinking this thing is a formidable hunter, you're going to be at the bottom of the fucking ocean before 3 minutes have passed. All right, look, these are those 2 twin 130s that are on the Ognavoy. 10.9 kilometer range. We did boost the reload and turret traverse a little bit. Shell grouping value of 2. HE shells do 1900 max damage with an 8% fire chance. Armor pen of 22. AP shells 2500 max damage. Max pen 193.8 at point blank range and 71.5 at max range. The ricochet angle is 53 degrees, possibly to 60, and fuse arming threshold 22 millimeters. Torp launchers, 2 quintuple tube launchers, range of 10 kilometers, but very slow at just 62 knots. Reloads in 2 minutes. That's not great either. Max damage 15,244. That's lessened by skill tree choice. Detectability 700 meters. Arming threshold 196 meters. AA defense is terrible. The hit points, by the way, we skipped over that part, but that's 20,000 for my build. Yeah, really terrible AA. This is your best AA. Maneuverability 37.6 knots, 660 meter turning circle, 4.4 second rudder shift time. That's not great either. I think it's rather bad start stop in this thing, just my opinion. Concealment 5.3 on the surface, 3 from the air, 2.6 when firing in smoke. Apparently we're supposed to be overjoyed by that. The 2 matches, well, I did all my killing in this match. You're just going to find that this is just, if you have the Ognivoy, it's an Ognivoy at a different tier. If you don't have the Ognivoy, it's a middle-of-the-road destroyer with limitations about what it can do. Hidden, no, I don't agree with that. Extended sonar, I guess so. Deep water torpedoes, yes. So that is the ship. Love to know what you hear about it in the comments, but I think it definitely has some limitations like we've discussed. Oh, I forgot to show the commander. All right, Sajin Bing, preset 1, tin opener. We use Sims and Bay as our inspirations. Tin opener is the ricochet angle increase or decrease. Observant Rage in row 1. Look at me now in row 2. Perceptive in row 3. Knuckle Duster in row 4. And Unstoppable as our legendary skill. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.